guys are steeped in this stuff every day. The question was whether or not you believe AI is a bubble, which I think is the place we would probably start this conversation anyway, given that I know that's top of mind for everybody. But maybe, Bill, if you want to kick it off.
Sure. Oh, thanks for having me again, Leslie. It's great to be here with my friend Philippe. I'm going to say, be a little bit maybe controversial, not a bubble. And I say not a bubble because I think this is a very real tech cycle. I think back to the PC cycle of the 80s, the internet cycle of the 90s, the mobile cycle of the 2000s, cloud 2010s, and now AI. And this will be a very, very real market, will create a lot of value. I think there will be a productivity payback long term. So I don't think a bubble, but I do think moments of overvaluation, moments of misallocation of capital, sure.
And Philippe?
I'm always concerned about something. There's always something that can go wrong in life. I would say when you look sometimes at previous bubbles, it's not obvious necessarily who wins. So could we be making the mistake of thinking that someone who appears to win ends up not winning? That's one type of mistake. And the second one is that if AI becomes so successful, you could imagine the economy growing very fast, but a lot of job destruction along the way. And it's sort of odd to be in saying, listen, we love AI, we love everything it can do, but also does it lead to a lot of unemployment? Yeah. And so that's maybe more of a 10 or 15-year concern, but I sort of think about it already now a little bit.
So maybe bubble isn't the right prism to be looking at the broader concern as it pertains to AI, whether it's a bubble or not, but what it ultimately does down the road to
it
society.
Does feel, and Bill interject too, but this wave feels like the changes are going to be dramatic in the future. Mm-hmm. Like in 5 and 10 and 15 years, the world is going to look potentially very different than today. Maybe people said the same thing with computers or with the mobile internet. The changes were maybe a little bit more incremental. This goes at the heart of replacing humans in both white collar and blue collar, and drivers and cars and humanoids. There are going to be a lot of changes.
I agree completely with Philippe. This is almost a super cycle, and I think it's so fundamental. And one way I've started to think about it is that it's intelligence on demand. And you can imagine, like railroads, like electricity, like the internet. It's a fundamental new technology, and it will create huge markets. I think Philippe is right. It's very hard to tell all the winners and losers right now. We're too early to do it. But one thing I just want to say about it that's different than the internet cycle is that in this cycle, the incumbents have an edge right now. The big tech giants have an edge because it's capital intensive, it's engineering intensive, and it's data intensive. And they bring those assets to the table. Where the new entrants, well, there'll be some winners for sure, OpenAI, Anthropic, others. But going into it and building these LLMs, building this intelligence on demand, it's the big guys who really have an edge early on. I think what it's telling you is that these large companies that are taking that capital and investing in each other or investing is because they think there is a real significant opportunity at the other end. And Philippe's right, the earnings are following through. They're getting revenue now, they're getting earnings now. And yet I think they're all fighting for a very, very big prize. I mean, the ones who win the intelligence on demand game are going to sell a heck of a lot of compute and a heck of a lot of capability. And I think they're right to say we've got to invest now to win that. And I think what's amazing about they're getting a payback. I mean, the amazing thing about the valuation increase of the Mag 7 is the earnings follow through. This wasn't a case where you doubled or tripled PE ratio. It was a case where the earnings were there, which is what's been so remarkable to me.